Hello, dear proFAITHsional. Thank you for watching and joining me on this podcast adventure. And on this very first creator commentary for proFAITHsional favor, I would like to share just a little bit of what got me to the mic. So this is the story behind the podcast. So roughly about 3 years or so, I did a little bit of TV talk show hosting. And really, my job there was just to interview people and to have them share about some of the work that they were doing in the community. Now, I had a blast and I loved it. A couple of people would come up to me and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a natural on camera," or your personality just really is well suited for this. However, I must admit there was just one little aspect of the gig that I didn't like, and that was that as a TV host, really, I was just there to move the conversation along, and I was just really there to promote the other person, right, the guest. And I really wasn't supposed to inject or really share any of my personal ideas or views or opinions. And so while I loved doing the hosting, I also felt like there was a part that I still wanted to share about. So that is why I'm always kind of looking for avenues to just put myself out there. Just because, I mean, I have a lot to say. That is not any secret for anybody that really knows me. So I just naturally like to talk, and in front of a camera, why not? However, over the last couple of years, though, work has been very challenging. The nature of my job has been very challenging. And in the last couple of years, my professional life took a completely unexpected and kind of surprising turn. And so out of all of that professional adventure, I found myself wanting to just encourage other people that maybe are going through some things professionally. And so based on some of the things that were going on and just how life was just moving faster than I can even care to share and update anybody along, I really couldn't do much video work, or I really didn't even want to blog. So for that matter, I kind of just took a pause. However, I was still kind of, something was brewing inside of me that I needed to kind of share and just kind of get back to producing and to just share some of the things. Maybe not so much of what we've been going through in our family business, but I found myself wanting to encourage other people along that may be experiencing challenges professionally. And then they just kind of needed some encouragement. And so thinking through the best medium to share some of the stories, I thought, podcast, why not? I have to admit that getting in front of the camera is not easy. People make it look that way, but it's not. It takes some work, yo. So being vulnerable on camera is not easy. And the thing that appealed to me about podcasting is the fact that I can focus on the content and worry less about the visual aspect of it, because production for video is crazy. And I must admit that I kind of like to be the anti-trend. I don't like to just do something because it's trending. So that's why I don't care to do a video like everybody else is doing video, and I don't care to do Instagram like everybody else is doing Instagram. I'm so sorry to disappoint. I just don't like it. So from that perspective, podcasting just kind of excited me. So I've had the idea now for over maybe like 2 years or so from the time I recorded the first episode. And I even did a workshop, which I highly recommend for anybody that's looking to podcast. It is out of Chicago, and I found it through Airbnb. And it's just a workshop on how to podcast and how to launch your own podcast. And shout out to Jaime Black. I hope I said his name right. So right now we're walking. I'm on my way to the podcast workshop. So I'm like less than a minute away. And then Marisa has to find a place to just sit and chill for 3 hours because she wasn't about to pay for it. So we'll see. There we go. Here we go. Hello, Jamie.
What's
Jaime.
up? Yeah.
Because he was amazing, and so he just kind of gave me the little bit of the the know-how how to do it, and that way I can launch it. However, there was still a creative resistance that I needed to overcome. And for anybody that is out there that likes to create, that you have an idea that you think is gonna like just impact somebody else, please, please, please do yourself this favor and just overcome the resistance. That is as much advice for you as it is for me. Anyways, so that's how I just came up with the idea to a podcast. Now, the topic for the podcast, it really came out of the people that I've encountered over the last couple of years, because I've noticed that there is a lot to be there is a professional gap between people, in the job market out there. People, yes, they're looking for jobs, but they don't even know how to present themselves in a way that would be appealing to other people. I've also found, just through maybe coaching several friends, that the job search process is really, really tough. And so I wanted to have a space where I can just encourage some people, but do it in a very practical way. The people that know me at heart, they know that I'm a very practical person. So anything that I put out there, it has to have a practical vibe to it. If you cannot kind of put it to use in your day-to-day, then what's the point, right? So the idea behind proFAITHsional Favor is just that it's a practical way to help your professional journey. Whether you're starting out or you're a more advanced professional, you're looking to transition into doing something different, I believe that it will be something that can be of help. Now, for the first episode, the person that is interviewing me, it's my own younger brother. And I just have to say that kudos to him, because I so much enjoyed sitting down and just having the conversation with him. He said something that from the very get-go, I said, oh my gosh, I made the right decision. He called it an adventure. So, and I want to thank him for that. I want to go on record thanking him for that, because this very much is an adventure, a listening or podcast adventure. And so for him bringing that perspective, it was like a aha moment for me. And then I have to say, it was also very easy and it was a breeze. So to record with him, he came up with his own questions at my request, because the idea behind it, it actually came from my sister. So this is truly a family project, but not really. No, not really. Kind of, but yeah, you get it. And so it was her idea to maybe have a reverse interview, because we thought that that's the most effective way for me to get across what the podcast is and who's directed towards. So I kind of bounced a lot of my ideas off of my sister, because while she's very supportive, she also has a critical sense to her feedback, and that's very good, and I enjoy that, and I sometimes need that. So she's kind of like she's kind of my consultant in that sense from time to time. So she gives me the idea to do a reverse interview. And then we thought of my brother, because I wanted a male counterpart to record the episode. And in case you haven't noticed, proFAITHsional Favor is also in Spanish, and it is called Favor proFAITHsional. And the reason I wanted to do that is because, number one, my focus is to produce the podcast in Spanish, but I recognize that I believe some English-speaking people can benefit from it too, so I didn't want to leave you guys out of it. And so then for the Spanish one, my dad interviews me. And because we really enjoyed the male voice, kind of to just be a nice contrast from my voice, then we thought, why not just my brother? My brother was the natural choice for that. So what can you expect from proFAITHsional Favor? First of all, some awesome conversation. And then also some of my friends maybe might tag along. I'll be putting out some invitations. So in the very first episode, what I wanted to accomplish is to introduce the podcast and also introduce myself. And that's really all questions are geared towards those two goals. And so you can hear a little bit about the idea behind the podcast and maybe what my target or my goals are for creating the podcast. And you'll find out a little bit about me, and a little bit of some of my professional experiences, but I purposefully did not make it about my resume. Hello everyone, here I am, Jarisa, and I am with
Radi.
So we just finished recording the very first episode, proFAITHsional Favor. And so Radi, tell us, what can people expect?
Great conversation, a lot of lessons, and a lot of wisdom.
Awesome. And who do you think will benefit from it?
Absolutely everybody.
That's a huge vote of confidence. So if you are everybody or just anybody, listen to proFAITHsional Favor and then let us know how you liked the first episode. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. So until next time.
Links below.
Bye. So I invite you to follow along on this podcast adventure, and I hope that it encourages you. And you can find the episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn plus Alexa. I also invite you to join the private group on Facebook called proFAITHsional Favor, and that's where we'll be posting questions and answers to some of your professional challenges. If you feel that you need just a little bit more than a favor, please feel free to reach out to favor@jarisagarcia.com, and that way we can just start a conversation. Also, you'll find more information about each episode on jarisagarcia.com. And lastly, stay tuned on YouTube and follow along for more creator commentary about proFAITHsional Favor. So thank you so much for joining. I'll be seeing you. Thanks. Bye-bye.